Well, they're not all totally crazy, but some of them are getting either bad advice or believing stuff that was true a couple years ago that's no longer true. Things are really changing, the market is changing, and if sellers don't adapt, they are going to pay the price. Stick around for the end and we'll have some solutions for them. So the first thing I want to let you know is the inventory is up to over 1 million for the first time since 2019, so since 6 years. The inventory is growing the fastest in the West, as you can see from this slide, even ahead of the pre-pandemic rates, which is pretty darn good. However, we are still in a huge housing deficit. We're over 2.2 million houses lower than what we should have to have a balanced market totally. The construction companies just aren't able to keep up for sure. They haven't been able to catch up anyway. The next picture shows a critical factor for sellers. You've got to price it right. Otherwise, you're going to end up as someone I would call crazy. Now, over 80% of them think they're going to get their asking price or better. However, over 40% of them turn out to be wrong. And as you can see, over a third of them had to decrease their prices. In Colorado Springs, over 47% have decreased as of June 18th. And in 80904, 57% of the houses that are currently listed have had to take a price decrease in order to try and attract buyers. They're just living in a dream world. There's one thing we can learn from Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com. She says the rising share of price reduction suggests that a lot of sellers are anchored to prices that aren't realistic in today's housing market. Today's sellers would be wise to listen to feedback they are getting from the internet. Now here's a graph that shows exactly what I'm talking about here. Sellers want more than buyers are willing to pay, and at the far right, you can see the gap between the blue, which is what the sellers are asking, and the green on the lower bar, which is what the buyers are willing to pay. And that gap is resulting in a problem for sellers. Now, as you can see from this next one, days on market have gone up every year since 2022, now at 51. And in Colorado Springs, we're only at 42, but that's also been coming up pretty strongly. Next two pictures will show you that the inventory has gone up every year since 2021, but sales have dropped over the same years. So this is why sellers don't get it yet. There's more houses for sale, there's more competition, and there's fewer sales. So that's going to have to require them to either get realistic ahead of time, which is the smart thing, or to figure it out later and take price decreases. When you've got days on market going up, you've got inventory going up, sales going down, that's going to lead to people expiring on their contracts. So most of the for sale contracts with their broker are for 6 months. So these guys have sat on the market for 6 months. They've probably already taken a price cut or two, and the contract ran out without selling. So once that happens, you can see more than a third of them have relisted, and of those, 70% have sold. Now the relisters, over 40%, are using prices that were lower than when they were originally listed. So they're finally getting the picture and getting smarter. And 70% of the sold were lower than the expired price. Now in Colorado Springs, since the start of the year, and I'm doing this on June 22nd, there have been 1,361 houses that have either expired or been canceled or withdrawn from the market. So that's a significant portion of people who thought they knew better, they were going to be able to price it right and sell it, and they're disappointed, and they're frustrated, and they're embarrassed probably as well. So that's too bad. I feel bad for them, but hopefully if you're reading this and you're going to think about selling your home, you will do it a little smarter. As of today, there's 2,765 active listings in Colorado Springs. So that's quite a few listed in the PPMLS. It doesn't count anything that's for sale by owner, which is diminishing to its lowest rate in a long time, like 6%, are trying to do it on their own. Most of those end up selling it with a realtor as well. So the question for the sellers is, are you going to learn this the easy way and understand that you don't want to overprice it in this market, or will you learn it the hard way? I hope it's the former. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon. Be sure and hit the subscribe button so you can follow this and keep up to date on the Colorado Springs real estate market. Bye.